Good evening and good day, whatever time it is for you. I am thankful that you're here. Looking forward to spending some time with you. Welcome in, everybody. My name is Tara. I am an engineer and peer support specialist. I'm here to support you in your journey to recovery from mental health conditions and substance misuse. So, if that's you, you are in the right place. I'm so glad you're here. If that's not you, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. You're in the right place. Everybody is welcome here. This is an inclusive space. Everybody is welcome to express their opinions. Let's all be respectful of one another. And it's going to be a great live stream. So if you're in here joining, let me know who you are. Type a comment in the chat and let's get this conversation started. I've got some things I want to talk about with you today. Anne-Marie Bliss in the house. Hey, Anne-Marie, nice to see you. Nice to see you. Always nice to see you. So I want to know what you want to talk about today, too. You got anything juicy? I got some juicy stuff for you. The first thing I want to tell you is that I discovered this type of ginger ale at one of my favorite markets, and maybe I should hide the label so as not to, you know, I don't know, like it's probably fine. That Reed's probably loves that I'm holding it this way. I don't mean to, but it's the way I have to drink it. It's the best ginger ale, and there's no sugar in it. I'm super psyched on that. So that's the first thing I want to tell you is that this ginger ale is delicious. Proudly ignorant is Artem, says, hi, Tara, Anne-Marie. Artem, I'm so glad you're here, man. How are you doing? Anne-Marie, same question to you. How are you doing? What is going on? I'll tell you what's going on with me. This ginger ale is hitting the spot. I did not do a good job at hydrating today. So how are y'all doing on hydrating? Have you drank enough fluids today? Let me know. I was out running around. I just got back. Have y'all heard of PEP feedback? Let me know in the comments if you've heard of PEP feedback, because as I was reflecting and figuring out what it is that I wanted to share with you all today, PEP feedback came to mind. I'm like, all right, I want to structure this and throw some positivity out there. So, spoiler alert, the first P stands for positive. PEP feedback. Have you heard of that? If you're just joining, welcome in. Let me know who you are. Type your name in the comments. I have most definitely not heard of PEP feedback, so be right back. Says Anne-Marie. Okay, Anne-Marie. I hope you're safe out there. Okay, so in terms of the title, I think I titled this stream "We Need to Talk." I have been challenged the past a couple months, to be honest, with conflict with people who I care about. And it's been difficult to navigate. I will be totally honest about that. I have not felt the strongest at navigating conflict. But I talked with my therapist about it last night, and she gave me some really great tools to use after the "we need to talk" phrase comes out. Or maybe the "we need to talk" phrase doesn't come out. Sometimes that can be too much for someone to hear. I certainly don't use that when I want to talk to somebody about something. I just start talking about it. Maybe I need to start using it because I've gotten in some trouble. One friend in particular did not like the way that I expressed my opinion at one point. So I was talking with my therapist about how I might approach a situation in a more constructive, supportive, and positive manner. Because let's face it, nobody wants to be in an argument. Nobody wants to be in conflict. Maybe that's not true. I don't want to be in conflict. A lot of people don't want to be in conflict. Some people thrive in conflict, and more power to you. I wish I could be a little more like you and enjoy the process. Honestly, I don't enjoy conflict. I would rather just hash things out, reconcile, kiss and make up. I really enjoy the reconciliation process. So, okay, circle back. Anne Marie, I need to hear all about this, please. Okay, so circling back to PEP feedback. PEP feedback is when you deliver information, something that could help another person in a format that makes it easier to hear. The first P stands for positivity. The E stands for enhancement. And the second P, it's a sandwich. It stands for positivity. Again, a positive, or not positivity necessarily, but a positive comment. So I decided to, I'm not giving y'all pep feedback right now, but I decided to approach this live stream while we're waiting for people to come in and join us. Hey, Luke, running around listening. Right on, right on. Well, be safe out there while you're running around, Luke. I decided to approach this live stream with a pep feedback structure. And so that's why I started off with this ginger ale is delicious. Anybody else love ginger ale? Rev Rashim in the house. Hey, Rev Rashim, it's so nice to see you. Rev Rashim sent a sponsorship in this weekend, and Rev, it was so greatly appreciated. Made my day when I saw that come through. Your support and encouragement makes a real difference, and I absolutely appreciate you. Rev says, Tara, you are a very positive and honest person, and I am blessed to be knowing you. Well, Rev, I am blessed to have you in the chat, as are we all. And Rev, if you've got any kind of questions that you want to answer, now is the time while we're waiting for people to roll through here. I have a few things that I want to talk about today. But we'll see if people roll through. If more people roll through, then we'll keep going. And if not, it might be another short live stream today. Rev Rashim says, Tara, you made me blush. Well, Rev, you did a very nice thing that meant the world to me this weekend. So thank you. Thank you. I cannot thank you enough. Artem says positive enhancement, positive. Yes, Artem, that is exactly what PEP feedback is. It's a positive comment followed by an enhancement. And in peer support, we learned it this way. I think personally, I love the concept of PEP feedback because it's so much better than like constructive criticism. Although one could argue that the goal of both is the same, but I disagree. I think constructive criticism has a negative connotation. Enhancement is a much more constructive, for lack of a better term, in my opinion, way to go about offering an enhancement. And I want to highlight a caveat here that not everybody's open to receiving enhancements. This is very much about it's very much about communicating things to people who are open to communicating them or open to receiving the communication. If someone has not asked for an opinion or asked for advice or guidance, then my perspective is that it's better to mind my own business. I have learned, especially in the shelter system, I learned really quick that it is always better to mind my own business. Hey, Heather, welcome in. Nice to see you. Rev says, how can I give off positive vibes to coworkers that are toxic? Very good question, Rev. You have the best questions. I just have to give you kudos for coming up with very creative, helpful, thoughtful questions. Rev, do you meditate? I notice with myself that when I spend 15 minutes a day in the morning, first thing when I wake up, like before I even really get going, before I have coffee, if I spend 15 minutes meditating and then circling back to feeling positive emotion, that the rest of my day goes so much smoother. Another thing that I heard Louise Hay say, I respect her work so much. I heard her say when she was alive, rest in peace, Louise. I heard her say that in your head, when you go out into public, if we think that everybody loves me and I belong here, things along those lines. It doesn't have to be exactly that. Cater it to yourself and use language that you would use and use language that you believe. If you do not believe that everybody loves you, switch it. I would switch it to something like, I love it when everybody loves me. Because let's face it, not everybody loves me, as was evident, as has been evident. But if I go out into the world with the thought in my head and I repeat sort of like a mantra, like a thought process, if I repeat, and I've tried this before and it works, if I go out with the perspective, I love it when people love me. It we're receivers and signal emitters. We are bioelectric, our bodies, the way that they function. If I'm bringing out my engineering side, we emit bioelectricity, electromagnetism, if you will. We're electromagnetic beings. So when we have thoughts, they're electrical impulses that do emit energy and it makes waves. So if we consciously put energy on sending good signals out, people subconsciously pick up on that. If you try this, I want to hear about it. Rev, if you try this, and does Rev, I tried to say a quick prayer before work. Prayer and meditation are, in my mind, very similar. I think the difference between prayer and meditation is that, for me, the way I see it is that with meditation, I'm clearing my mind in order to focus on one thing, and I'm receiving the signals. Even if I'm not aware of it, I'm receiving. I'm getting into I'm practicing my receiving capabilities in terms of electromagnetism, like a radio. When I pray, I'm sending out signal. And personally, I don't pray for specifics anymore. I leave it up to my higher power. If I pray for somebody, I say their name or I read their name off of my list and give it to my higher power, because I don't necessarily know what each person needs. I don't necessarily know what I need, but my higher power does. Rev, does that answer your question? Your question was, how can I give off positive vibes to coworkers that are toxic? To sum up my perspective on this, when I meditate and then focus on positive vibes, I get more of that. I notice more of that throughout the day. If you're watching this and you have a thought on how Rev can give off positive vibes, or how any of us can, including myself, I am so open and interested in hearing your perspective on this. Please comment and let us know what you think. If you're just joining us, welcome in. Please let me know who you are. I'm so glad you're here. Anne Marie wants to know, how is enhancement defined? Another great question, Anne Marie. An enhancement is the meat and potatoes. The positive statements are also really important. It's like the bread, you know? It's like if you're eating a burger, it's like the bun, the positive comment. So for me, I opened up with, I am really enjoying this ginger ale. It is so refreshing. It's making me feel energized and refreshed. I like the word refreshed. It's accurate. And that's positive. Now, I'm not giving PEP feedback, but I decided to structure my comments as PEP feedback and then to talk about PEP feedback. Because if we need to talk to somebody about something, the title is We Need to Talk. If I've got some information I want to deliver to somebody and it's difficult information, an enhancement would be something like, okay, so I'll talk about something that I listed that I'll get into my enhancement as an example. So I was trying to schedule Monday's live stream for next week, and I got so frustrated because YouTube would not let me update the thumbnail. So there's a live stream floating around, maybe in your feed somewhere, with just my banner. It's like a picture that I took, which I love that photograph. I took that photograph in Big Sur of a beach. That's not what I wanted though. I like making personalized thumbnails for you. Like custom thumbnails per each live stream. So my enhancement to YouTube would be, well, and a little bit of, I'll actually structure this as PEP feedback as an example. I really love the ability to use custom thumbnails for each of my live streams and videos. It would be really nice if the software allowed me to update the thumbnails like I usually do, because right now it's glitching. That would be an enhancement. If YouTube allowed me to update my thumbnail like it usually does, that would be an enhancement to the software today, because right now it's not letting me. So Anne Marie, to your question, an enhancement is making a system, a person, a place, a thing better. A suggestion to make it better. Or them, or it, or. An enhancement also has a positive connotation. It's not something like, I wouldn't say as an enhancement, and YouTube, if you see this, I'm using this as an example. I'm not actually saying this to you, YouTube, but as an example, I would not say, YouTube, you suck. I cannot stand it when you malfunction. That is not an enhancement, and I would not say that to YouTube. I would say something like, I really like it when the software functions the way that it's designed to function. And it's really helpful and convenient and fun to upload custom thumbnails for each live stream. Does that make sense, Anne Marie? Maddie, we need to talk. Oh boy, Tara is mad at me now. I am absolutely not mad at you, Matt. What would I be mad about you for? And how are you doing today? All that meat and no potatoes just ain't right, like green tomatoes. And purple, I was going to say potatoes, but potatoes is already in your rhyme. I would make a horrible rapper. But I like your comment, Maddie. John Mendoza just got here. Hey, John, welcome in. It's so nice to see you. These pretzels are making me thirsty. You know what? This ginger ale is quenching my thirst. It is highlight of my day. My day's been pretty darn good, actually, but this is so good. Artem, okay, this is gonna be good. This comment, I'm looking forward to reading this comment. Artem says, I have positivity resistant opinions about this that nobody asked for. He laughs. I can't say anything nice about this stuff. I'm a Grinch. Well, my mom always taught me if I have nothing nice to say nothing at all. Mom, Papa, if you're watching this, hello, nice to see you. I'm going to read that comment again. I have positivity resistant opinions about this that nobody asked for. Artem, I'm going to ask you right now because different perspectives are 100% welcome here. And if you would not appreciate pep feedback, I want to know why. Because some personalities, I could understand why someone would not like pep feedback. So please tell me what it is about it that you don't like. I genuinely want to know. I am legit curious about why you wouldn't like that. Rev says, when I give feedback, I use the PI method: positive, improvement, and encouragement. Okay, Rev, I have not heard that, but I really like it, and I'm going to write it down. Positive, improvement, encouragement. Now, to me, this is very similar to pep feedback, but I like how the last thing is encouragement. I hadn't thought to focus the last P in pep on something that would be encouraging to somebody. And I think personally that when we acknowledge strengths and affirm strengths, other people's strengths, that can be encouraging. So I love your comment, Rev. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm definitely going to keep this in mind for the second P to make it something encouraging when I do use it. John, YouTube does suck. It's been censoring our First Amendment. John Mendoza. YouTube, if you can hear me right now, I love you. I do wish that you would stop censoring our First Amendment, like John Mendoza said. I do wish it would be nice if there was no censorship. There are other platforms, which I will not name here because it might make YouTube jealous. It's a really good way for us to get together, though. It's a very good platform for community to get the message out there. I'm not sure that I've even constructed my message well yet. Um, I have a lot of work to do in that respect. I'm just trying to find my feet with this whole live streaming thing. But, uh, and I haven't made videos in quite some time either because I got super busy and was going through some personal stuff and then my tooth got infected and I moved and then my place was fumigated, blah, 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 yada, yada, yada. But I will be making some new videos soon, so stay tuned. Also, if you're in here and you're open to supporting me, it's free to hit the like button. So please hit the like button, and it helps me out so much to like it. What it does is it makes me pop up in people's recommended feeds so they see that we're here. And that's how we get new friends to come in and join the party. So if you like it, hit the like, it's free. And thank you. Thank you. Thank you for doing that. Yeah, Heather says, I like the pie method. I like the pie method too, quite a bit. I'm going to marry pep and pie. Pep pie. Kind of sounds like Popeye. Or pie pep. I like pep pie. Down home in the house. Hey, down home. Welcome in. Hey, down home. Thank you so much for that shout out on your channel the other day. That was a really nice thing to see come through. I appreciate you, and I'm so glad that you're around on YouTube. Also, congratulations on your sobriety right now. I'm so happy to hear that you're in recovery. John says, Tara, sometimes you got to call people out, even if it hurts their feelings. John, I think you're right about this. I think different people, different strokes for different folks, if you know what I'm saying. Some people really don't like to be called out. Some people can't handle it. And I am doing my best to navigate those types of situations. On one hand, it's like, all right, if our friendship is not important enough to you to put some energy into reconciliation, then bye, sayonara. I think, John, you have a really good point here. If somebody can take being called out on something, or not necessarily even being called out, but like from my perspective, even just bringing up something that's uncomfortable. I just had a conversation with a friend about something that seemed to be causing it was a difference in perspective, and it seemed to be causing some discomfort between us. And so I said something about it. I actually talked to my therapist first to be completely transparent, and decided that I wanted to address it and say something. And I did. And it worked out beautifully because this person is my real friend. This person wanted to work through things. So I'm happy that we have that conversation because now I feel like our friendship is stronger. Down home says, what's the term? Something feedback? I'm going to start endearingly call it, in honor of Rev Rashim, Pepai feedback. But the way I was taught in peer support specialist training is PEP feedback. Rev calls it PI feedback. So the PEP stands for positive, enhancement, positive. The I's, or the PI, excuse me, stands for positive, improvement, encouragement. And I really like that too. I think they could both be married together to be a very effective way to deliver communication. Oh, acronym says down home. Heather's laughing. What was is it something I said, Heather? Smash that like button says down home. Thank you, down home. I really appreciate it. A lot of you smashed the like button. Thank you so much. It means a lot to me. Ben in the house. Hey Ben, welcome in. Says I will smith the like button as well. I think I've smithed the like button. What is smithing the like button? Smash? Do you mean smash, Ben? What did you mean? Did you mean smithed? What does that mean? John Mendoza, 30 years ago, we weren't so sensitive. 30 years ago, we didn't have so many cluster B personality disorders either, John Mendoza. A real friend will call a friend out. John Mendoza, I hear what you're saying. To me, I can be called out. I can handle being called out. Some people can't handle that. Some people don't like that. And I guess that's a good thing to find that out sooner rather than later. We're on the same page. I think on the flip side of that, John, a real friend will appreciate being called out if it's done well and respectfully. And I think the PEP and the pie methods are great ways to achieve that. Iron sharpens iron. Just like attracts and like dissolves like. That's why the Vaseline got the tar off of my heels the other day. Artem, positivity culture feels inauthentic to me. I believe it is always better to stay true to your innermost impulses about things. I hear what you're saying, Artem. It makes sense. There's people call it toxic positivity, and in a way, tarasmiling might to some might be off-putting because I'm not always smiling. That's just the truth. I agree with you. I think it's better to stay true to your innermost impulses about things. I think lying is never a good idea. I also think that we get more of what we focus on. So, my perspective is that it's a fine balance between allowing myself to sit in my own dirty diaper for too long or to make a choice to give myself a change, clean myself up, and move on in a constructive way. Ben, positivity sandwich in management. Yeah, I've all Artem will probably like this. I've also heard it called I've heard it called a BS sandwich. Artem probably likes that acronym better. Artem, positivity feels artificial if it comes at the expense of repressing negativity. I'm certainly not saying to repress negativity, but it's been shown that it's easier to receive feedback if it's delivered in a way that people can hear and digest it. I wish there are some people in my life, I wish that I would have thought of this when I was expressing myself. Um, I think it would have been better for our relationship if I could have been present enough to remember the PEP strategy. And now I'll remember the pie strategy. Thank you, Rev. Will Smith, says Ben. Okay. What did Ben say? I got to go back to your earlier comment, Ben. I will Smith the like button as well. Oh, okay. I did not get your joke. I will Smith the like button as well. I'm a little slizzo on the jokes every once in a while. They just go psh, right over my head. But thank you for explaining that to me. That was a good joke. Slapped the like button. Yeah, if you're just joining, welcome in. Slap that like button if you like what you see. Also, my name is Tara. I'll reintroduce myself if you didn't catch the beginning. I'm an engineer and peer support specialist. I focus here on providing support to people in recovery from mental health conditions and substance misuse. So, whether you meet that criteria or not, you are in the right place. I'm so glad you're here. And I'm so glad I have this ginger ale to wet my whistle with. It's delicious right now. Oh, Heather, I was laughing when you were talking about YouTube earlier. Come on, YouTube, get your stuff together, please. Bacon, or bacon. Ben, I'm just going to start calling you bacon. Slapped it like Zaza Gabor slapping a cop. I don't know who that is. Oh, that might be too old of a reference, though. I don't know who that is, Ben. I apologize. John, I was raised in the 90s. Let's bring back the 90s. Ooh. Well, the 90s weren't so bad. A lot of neon. So I remember a lot of neon stuff in the early 90s. I used to wear really baggy clothes also. Very baggy. Mr. Bacon says, down home, that's a good phrase. One my trends researcher friends named his show Steel on Steel after that. I wish I could. I'm having a rough time with Mr. Bacon tonight. Zach in the house. Zach, I'm so glad you're here. Welcome in, friend. Glad you guys are here. Makes me smile, says Down Home. Well, Down Home, I'm glad you're here. If you weren't here, I wouldn't be here either. So thank you. Mr. Bacon laughed out loud and says, Anne Marie, oh, thank goodness. Thought I was the only one. Oh, because Anne Marie says, Ben, yes, I know that reference. Yes. Yes. Anne Marie, I am glad you're here. Brian Lane in the house. Hi, hope everyone is having a great day here. Brian, I appreciate you coming in and sharing that thought. How are you doing, Brian? Heather got Ben's reference as well. Okay, so I'm just not part of the cool kids club today. I'm okay with that. Yeah, down home. Halts equals hungry, angry, lonely, tired, and sad. I've never heard the S on the end of that before. Down home. I've always only heard halt, hungry, angry, lonely, tired. It's a relapse prevention acronym. And the sad thing is a great addition. I think I'm going to jot that down actually. Down home. Thank you very much. Halts, where the S means, and I'm going to write your name down home with the three. Halts is sad. If y'all never heard the HALT acronym, which let me know if you have or you haven't, I'm curious to take a pulse on what y'all are familiar with and what you're not. It's one of the first things I learned in recovery was that if I am hungry, angry, lonely, or tired, that I need to focus on improving those conditions because they are a huge risk to my recovery and huge contributors to continuing using or drinking. Thanks for reminding us or for reminding me of that down home. Ben says, it's okay, Tara. I just spent 4 hours working on a map, wasting my time, which could have been spent on much better things. On a map? What were you doing with the map, Ben? I'm curious. The end result was a map that looked like Walt Disney threw up on a page. Were you designing a map, Ben? Like creating art? Are you an artist also? Artem says, I would prefer to know what people really think and see their real reactions rather than the positivity filtered mask. I don't care what the research says. I don't trust that research. Feels wrong. Interesting perspective, Artem. For me personally, um, my real feelings about things are very closely in line with the way that I communicate them. I differ. I always want to be respectful to people. So in that way, I think we're different. Um, it's important to me to validate other people's experiences and to be sensitive to other people's vulnerabilities and weak spots. And I realize that we're all different and we all have different strengths and we all have different weaknesses. So for me, I would much rather somebody, um, I would much rather somebody focus on being respectful, acting with integrity and ethically when interacting with me. That's just my perspective. We're also different though, and I absolutely respect other people's perspectives. I think something like PEP feedback or pie feedback is a way to show respect to somebody. It's a way to support someone. And apparently, not all people like that. But the good news is that it's not important to me if everybody likes it. That's the way I want to operate, and that's all that really matters. Brian Lane, I'm doing great. Thanks for asking. How are you today? Brian, I'm doing pretty darn good. I got a ginger ale that I'm enjoying very much. I did some shopping today, and y'all will be happy to know if you're just joining, welcome in. I'm so glad you're here. Hit that like button, it helps me out so much. And we're talking about delivering information to improve situations, different techniques to do that. Now, we've learned that not everybody likes these techniques. Artem has been very open, which I appreciate very much, about his dislike of techniques used to deliver information. And that's good to know. That's good to know. With Artem, I will not ever sugarcoat information. I'll give it to him straight. With certain people, they don't like that. So I think it's important to be able to read the room also. Important to be able to gauge where a person's at and meet them where they are. If I'm talking with Artem about something that's difficult, PEP feedback is not going to be received well from him. And that's good to know. And that's okay. Ben says, Holt, honoring outstanding literary talent. Hungry? Oh, L, tired. I remember hearing that in recovery, but I already forgot it. Can you say it again? It's halt. It's it's halt with an A. It's hungry, angry, lonely, tired. And Down Home just gave us an S to add on to that, which is sad. Halts. Hungry, angry, lonely, tired, sad. If you are feeling any of those things in recovery, it would not hurt to focus on improving that situation. John Mendoza, Tara, what is pie? Rachel in the house. Hey, Rachel, nice to see you. Glad you're here. So John wants to know, what is pie? Pie is an acronym that Rev Rashim dropped, which I've never heard before. And I think it's really, really clever and helpful and useful. And I'm going to remember it and use it. For some people, not all. It means positive. It's a way to give feedback, and it means positive, improvement, encouragement. So first you say, ginger ale. First you say something positive, then you say an improvement that could be made. So it's like a different way. Like Artem probably prefers constructive feedback, is what it sounds like, or not even calling. He probably doesn't even like the term constructive feedback, but he would rather constructive criticism rather. He What do you think about that term, Artem? He probably doesn't even like that term, constructive criticism, because it's a term rather than like, he probably doesn't like it. But um, the pie means you deliver a positive comment about the person, and then you offer an improvement about the person, an improvement that could be made, and then you offer some encouragement. So I was using YouTube as an example earlier, and I was talking about pep feedback, but if I'm going to practice pie feedback, I could say something to YouTube like, I really enjoy using your platform, YouTube. It's really it's a fantastic technology. It would be great if I could upload custom thumbnails to my live streams, because for the past 12 hours, I haven't been able to upload custom thumbnails. And then going into the encouragement part, it would be something like, it's been really great seeing your growth over the past, how long have we been watching YouTube? 15 years, something like that. It's been really great seeing seeing you evolve and grow as a platform. And I'm really looking forward to continuing seeing you grow. That would be an example of pie feedback. Anne Marie, true story. My husband's grandfather owned Zaza Gabor's Rolls Royce. I wish I knew who that was. I don't. Luke, things can be worded in a way that is positive and productive. I agree with you, Luke, and I appreciate it when other people do that with me, for what it's worth. Being authentic by not caring what others think. Brian, yes, I think this is a very important part of, it's been a very important part of my spiritual growth, and I haven't always been strong at it, but you can't make everybody happy. And what other people think is, quite frankly, none of my business. Rachel says, "Hey y'all, what did I miss?" Rach, we're just talking about feedback, different ways. Some people call it constructive criticism. I learned in peer support it called PEP feedback, positive enhancement, positive. Rev Rashim dropped a knowledge bomb on us and said PIE is a good acronym for it. So I'm calling it PIE feedback. Positive improvement, encouragement. Love that. Artem was honest and transparent, which I really appreciate and applaud. Your honesty is a strength, Artem. But he doesn't like any of it. He thinks it's all BS. And he would rather someone just tell it straight. I'm laughing at Anne Marie's comment that I don't get, because they're talking about, Anne Marie says, I still see it driving around town every once in a while. I think she's making a reference to something I don't understand, which is totally fine, but I can't comment on it. Rach says, how was your shopping trip? I thought it was tomorrow. My furniture shopping trip is tomorrow. I will be furniture shopping tomorrow, although I've been doing some browsing online and uh, I've been browsing online today, but I went and got some kitchen stuff today, and I went to the library to return uh, uh, something I checked out there. And what else did I do today? Oh, and I went to the grocery store to get some groceries. So I did shop today, but you're correct, Rach. The furniture shopping is tomorrow. And I'm really looking forward to it. Artem, you don't have to be positive to be respectful. I still try to be mindful of people's sensitivities. I don't think that means being exclusively affirmative. Socratic method goes a long way. What is the Socratic method, Artem? Please expand on that because I want to understand. Brian, did anyone ever do a program called Celebrate Recovery? Was a good one I did in a correction center. Brian, I have heard wonderful things about Celebrate. I've never personally been to a meeting before. I'm open to it. I know that it's worked really well for some people. For those of you who don't know, Celebrate Recovery is a faith based recovery program. It's rooted in the steps. I believe they've pared down the 12 steps to 8 steps. I could be wrong about that, but it's basically the 12 steps. Uh, Restructured is not the right word, but it's they just modified the numbers, I think, to make it 8 steps. If someone could comment and chime in on that if I'm correct. It's basically like 12 step. But I hear that Celebrate Recovery is more open and supportive of mental health recoveries and mental health medications. And I think that is a wonderful update to a step program. Rachel, I'm just trying to hang in there, Zach. Well, Rach, I'm glad you're here. Anything that you want to share with us in particular? Get off your chest. Down Home says Goldilocks, gauge the moment and provide the right temperature of rebuke, etc. John Mendoza says facts over feelings, 100%. So I'm getting the feeling that John and Artem are a little more on the same page. Brian Lane, I too started YouTube channel a couple months ago. Okay, Brian, right on, right on. How's it going for you? I got tired. I needed a break from pumping out YouTube content, but now that I'm starting to get settled, and especially after I get furniture, I think you can expect to see me create. Down Home, been to them, Celebrate Recovery. Down Home, what'd you think about Celebrate? Zach says, "Don't worry, Rachel. You're not going to just hang in there. You're a champion." I agree with you, Zach. Rachel is a champion. Rachel has so much on her plate, and it just blows me away at how much she's able to manage. Artem, yeah, I don't even think criticism needs to be constructive. I just want to hear what people genuinely think. Okay. I knew that constructive criticism wasn't going to fly with you, Artem. I just had a feeling about that. Rachel, thanks, Zach. I appreciate that. Rachel, that's a very PI answer, and I like it. She's talking to Artem. There's a pie symbol on Down Home's channel. Artem says, if I think a person doesn't want anything other than affirmation from me, I do respect that and still interact with that person, but I'm going to consider our relationship superficial. Okay, that's fair. I disagree personally. I think everybody's different. I think it's really important to be able to read an audience and to gauge, to meet a person where they're at. And some people are in such rough shape that they can't they can't handle the truth. So um, I think being able to package the truth in a way that's palatable and digestible is a valuable skill to have that can go a long way for some people. Obviously, not all people. Ben, oh Tara, you are so much of a nice person. Dear YouTube, I like some stuff about your platform, but your algorithm reminds me of diarrhea and vomiting at the same time and not in a good way. And I look forward to seeing the improvement that you have to display. Good one, Ben. Rachel, if I can't truly be honest with somebody and tell them how I feel, it can't be an actual meaningful relationship to me. Agreed, Rachel. John Mendoza, congratulations on the new place, Tara. For the more positive people in the world, I'm not one of them. LOL, you deserve it. Well, thank you, John. I agree with you. I do deserve it. And I am so thankful to be here. Also, I'm thankful to be in a place where I believe that I do deserve it because I haven't always been here. It's ginger ale, in case you're wondering. It's delicious ginger ale, sugar free, made with erythritol. So good. Artem. Okay. The Socratic method, I asked about this earlier. Thank you for answering, Artem. The Socratic method is the process of leading people to discover the problems with their convictions by asking them clever questions rather than telling them what you think directly. Yeah, that's very not peer support esque. We don't lead in peer support. We allow people to discover their own solutions. It's a really hard thing. It's been a very difficult thing for me to learn how to not lead people down a path that, like, I think it's a very, it's a hard thing to learn not to do it. But in retrospect, now that I've gotten a better hold on it, it's sort of arrogant, in my opinion, or not sort of, I think it is arrogant to think that I know the best thing for someone, that I have the solution for somebody. I don't always have the solution. And what I think might be best for somebody might not be best for them. So I definitely wouldn't be using the Socratic method as a peer support specialist. Thank you for explaining that, Artem. John Mendoza, I watch you and Tommy's channels. Oh, Timmy, not Tommy. There's a Tommy I'll watch. Timmy, I think you're talking about Tim Ward. So hopefully some of your positivity rubs off on me. John Mendoza, is that how you found me, from Timmy's channel? I haven't been over there in a little while. I hope he goes live at a time that I'm available because I do want to check in with him sometime soon. Also, if you're just joining us, we've got a meeting happening tomorrow night. It's on Discord. I'm just opening Discord because I forgot to copy the link earlier. It's downloading. So every Thursday, we have a face-to-face meeting over on Discord. It's at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. And you don't have to go on camera. If you've ever used Discord before, you know there's chat rooms and you have the option to go on camera. You don't have to go on camera. You can just go on voice. We've been having great conversations over there. Sometimes we even play games after the meeting, which is a lot of fun. I am going to copy the link right now, so bear with me while I get that link for you so you can join us tomorrow if you so desire. Got it. Here it is. I'm going to drop it in the chat. Join us tomorrow, 6 o'clock p.m. Pacific Standard Time. This link will expire in 7 days. So if you don't get it now, you're going to have to go into the next live stream and get it there. Ben says, oh, Zach says, I like that PI. Zach likes the Socratic method. Ben says, PI, yes, I do that even for self-reflective meditation. The Socratic method, how would you do the Socratic method on yourself? Am I understanding that correctly? Is that possible? Artem, PI, says, people are far more amenable to changing their minds about things if they come to those realizations themselves instead of being told what to think. Yeah, but isn't that manipulative to ask leading questions to get them to the solution that you think is best? John Mendoza, I watch you and, oh, I read that already. Rachel, my, let me try that again. Just my typical stuff. Laugh out loud. Everyone is still sick, and so I feel like I'm drowning. Rachel is having some sickness in her family, and it's hard. It's hard when you have a friend and you wish you could fix things that are wrong, but like you just can't. Like I can't fix that people are sick, but I can offer emotional support, Rach. I'm here for you, and I really hope that things improve with people's health soon in your family. Until then, I'm here for you. And when that comes, I'm going to be here for you. Zach, helping them discover their own faults. I hear what you're saying. I see it as it is a strategy. The Socratic method is indeed a method. I personally don't like it. PI, the Socratic method is the epitome of being constructive. It's as constructive as it's possible to be for you, but not everybody is like you, Artem. Brian Lane says, had to do it for 12 weeks and got a certificate for Celebrate Recovery in 2014-ish. Never really been to a rehab, had to do AA even though I was a drug addict. Brian, I am so sorry that you were forced to do AA as a drug addict. That must have been difficult. I would imagine it was uncomfortable. I actually started going to AA because I was in recovery from marijuana or trying. Didn't even consider myself in recovery at first. I was just trying not to smoke. That's all I was trying to do. I was just trying to stay clean because I had to be at the safe house that I was placed at. I wasn't allowed to smoke there. And I had a drug test every week. So I also started going to AA because that's all I had access to. I tried a couple NA meetings, but they were not for me. It was like not my style, not my jam. I resonated more with AA until I didn't resonate with AA anymore. That's not to say that there's not some group out there that I wouldn't enjoy that I haven't discovered yet, but I really enjoy doing this with y'all. And the Thursday night meetings on Discord really quenched my thirst for recovery meetings. I like this non-conventional format, and I've already worked the steps twice, which was valuable experience. I'm so glad that I did it. I was thorough about it, but truth be told, I needed additional support that I was not getting in 12 step. Like, I needed professional help. My opinion is that AA is not a fix for trauma and processing trauma, that professional help is necessary to process trauma. So here we are. And I am working with a mental health professional very regularly. Wow, very interesting. A lot of people are agreeing with our tip. A lot of let's see if I can speak this evening. A lot of people are agreeing with our TEM. I respectfully disagree, only based on my training. It's just not the peer support way to lead people to realizations. It's our job to support them in um, figuring things out for themselves. But I see why y'all would like the Socratic method. I just personally don't. Rach, I appreciate you guys having faith in me. That is something we definitely do have, Rach, is faith in you. Down home. By the way, it's a beautiful day here in Idaho, and I made breakfast for dinner in my new home. Blessed to have a kitchen. You and me both down home. I'm so thankful to have an oven and a stove. It's my own. I don't have to share it anymore. Thank my higher power. And I'm really, really happy for you down home, because I remember not too long ago you were facing homelessness. So I'm glad you're not experiencing that anymore. Brian says YouTube channel is fine. Everything is pretty much everything I did to recover. Okay, Brian. What's your channel name, Brian? I'd like to check it out. I'm always going to be honest, even if I tweak the niceness level depending on who I'm talking to. I totally am on the same page with that, Rach. Uh, I have learned in my experience, just for me personally, I'm not saying that this is true for everybody. I would never make a blanket statement. We'll never say never, right? But I probably wouldn't ever make a blanket statement that something would work for everybody. But I really like to know who I'm talking to, and I want to meet them where they're at. Knowing that they could change their mind tomorrow and that would be okay. Oh, I just lost my place. Down home said, I wasn't ready to get better, but it was a good place and welcomes all types of struggles, not just chemical dependency. I think down home's talking about celebrate recovery. Yeah, I that's a good point about celebrate recovery down home. I didn't touch on that earlier, but celebrate recovery does allow all types of addiction. You know, if you're a gambler, if you have a food addiction, like it's not just about drugs or alcohol, it's all types of addiction. Retail addiction, all of it's welcome. Rachel, you guys know I always say I give the good, the bad, and the ugly. Rach, I think that you're really good at being discerning. Like your style of communication is way more like my style of communication, where you're discerning about knowing who you're talking to. That's my style too. Ben, nice drink, Tara. What the heck are you doing wearing a light jacket? Isn't it 2 billion degrees in California? Actually, I'm gonna have to put a vest on. It's actually pretty it's like getting chilly because it's the sun's close to going down, and I have a tank top on underneath this, and I was wearing a tank top when I went to the grocery store, but now that I'm here, the sun's on the other side of my house. It's cool in this room. I have the windows open. There's a breeze coming through. So I'm actually like, I'm gonna have to put a puffy vest on at some point this evening. Taking my lasagna out of the oven, says Rach, but I'll be listening. Be back soon if y'all are still on. Okay, Rach, lasagna sounds amazing right now. And Maddie says, hi, Tara's mom. Yeah, hey, mom. Ben, Socratic questioning. I think there's a method. Um, there's a method that I'd like to learn about, and I think it's along the lines of the Socratic method, but I haven't learned about it yet. So perhaps my viewpoint will change once I go through the training. It's called motivational interviewing, and I declined an opportunity to go to that training for free several months ago because I felt like um, talking about inauthenticity. It's like, why try to force somebody to make a change that they're not ready to make? Motivational interviewing. But from my understanding of what it is and now learning about what the Socratic method is, they sound like the same thing, like you're just calling it a different name. Maddie says, yep, I'm not even going to say that word, the R word. Surprised that's not blocked. Artem says, it's not arrogant to say what you really think as long as you are not pretending to know more than you really know. It's arrogant to act like you're certain about things when you're not. Rachel, it's the thought that counts. PI, sharing feelings and intuitions about things is not arrogant as long as you acknowledge that you may be wrong. Well, I don't hear anybody saying they may be wrong about everything they say. That would be overkill to say I may be wrong. I feel like it's goes without saying that we may be wrong. Artem, sharing feelings and intuitions about things. Oh, I read that already. Ben, maybe I'm too self reflective, like my head is becoming reflective with my receding hairline. Maddie, join the party with Artie. And then Artem says the Socratic method is not manipulative. You aren't being disingenuous in any way. The positivity filter is far more disingenuous if your affirmation is a polite lie. Brian Lane, I went to AA because I lied to parole officer a lot. That seems like a risky idea, Brian. All I did when I was on drugs was lie about everything. Drugs can teach people how to be professional liars. Yeah, drugs um, do foster behavior that doesn't really serve us. I mean, I guess it could be argued that lying could serve people at some point, but um, I've done a lot of things that I'm not proud of. Also, some of the worst thing, I mean, the worst things that I've ever done were when I was using and getting high and drinking. So I can relate to this, Brian. I'm so glad I don't have to live that way anymore. Life is so much better now. Heather, Artem, do you mean like tough love? That's a good question, Heather. John Mendoza, Tara, you once said you were Jewish. Have you ever looked into gematria? John, are you the one who told me to do that last time, or was that Luke? Who was it that told me to look into gematria? No, I haven't, to answer your question, but I'm jotting it down. And uh, I most closely identify with Messianic Judaism at this point, but it's not even accurate to say that. I can't really put a label on my beliefs at this point. But my belief system, like I said, so not to be redundant, but Messianic Judaism would be the closest label that I'm able to identify at this point in time. Brian, my channel is from this account here. I mean, there's a lot of workout videos, but that too is a part of my recovery. But I got stuff there that helps people keep positive mindset or breath work. Cool, Brian. I dig that. I think that's a beautiful area to focus in on. And breath work that's really cool that you're into that. I'd really like to check your channel out, but for some reason, I cannot, when I click, like as the host of this live stream, when I click on someone's name, it only gives me the option to pin your message, to report your message, remove your message, put you in a timeout, hide you on the channel, or add you as a mod. Those are the only options I have. I'm not able to access your channel, which YouTube, if you're listening, why, as a host, do I not have the opportunity to pull up someone's channel? It would be really helpful if I had the ability to do that. That was not an example of pet feedback because I didn't put a positive thing in the front of that, but I could have led with saying something like, I love that YouTube gives me options when I click on somebody's name. But you know what's even more strange about it is that moderators can go to the person's channel. A moderator has the ability to click on somebody's name and go to their channel, but as the host, I can't do it. I don't get that. Artem, Heather, no. Tough love is a separate thing. Tough love is a denial of empathy. I don't agree with that tactic ever being useful. Okay, Artem, we agree on something because I do not agree with tough love either. It has been proven to be ineffective. It does not work. It causes more harm than good, says the data. Down Home says he will subscribe to Brian because he knows how hard it is to get subs. Subscribers, not Suboxone. Oh, wait. Maddie, Tara, I hope you got all the tar off your Piggly Wigglies. I did, Maddie. I used Vaseline and it came right off. Okay, so Brian's channel name is Brian Lane, and it's that picture of him standing under the light. Right on, Brian. I am going to try to find you really quick, and I'm going to tell you if I can find you because I can't always find people that have their names or something. Like I can't always find people. So when I type in your name just as information for you, you do not pop up. But if I filter for channels, let's see what happens. Oh, I found you. Subscribe. I'm going to drop a link to Brian's channel for everyone. Ah, thank you for bearing with me, everyone. So here's a link to Brian's channel. Check him out. Heather agrees that tough love tactic has pushed her away and only gives her anxiety. Yep, tough love does not work. I think it's interesting, um, Artem, that you see a difference between tough love and essentially having no filter when you interact with people. That's interesting to me. Oh, I read that already. Maddie, you may be right. I may be crazy, but it just may be a lunatic you're looking for. What do you mean, Maddie? Who? Who's looking for a lunatic? I can be pretty loony sometimes. Oh, is Maddie quoting lyrics again? Brian, I did find it. I did find it. Well, you know that because I dropped a link. Maddie wants to know, when I was getting high, did I ever steal a little kid's Halloween candy? No, I'm not a thief. I did not steal in my addiction. Brian has been off parole and probation for 5 years now. Brian, that is a huge accomplishment. Keep up. I hope that you keep up the hard work. I know, well, I don't know, but it must not have been easy to go through that. So I commend you for making it through. Maddie, Tara, when you were in the hotel, did somebody put orange juice on your bed? No, that did not happen because nobody was in the hotel room with me. It was just yours truly. And I did not pour orange juice on my own bed. Ben, it's funny how manipulation is called persuasion by many in neuroscience. I'm trying to find the ethics of some people I study. Yes, Ben, I'm right there with you. And this is exactly why I did not do the motivational interviewing course because I had reservations about the implications of that. Maddie, Tara is the host with the most. Thank you, Maddie. I appreciate that. PI says it doesn't let you go directly to people's channels because YT sucks. I was able to find Brian though, and I subscribed. Maddie, Brian Lane, how did you come up with the name for your YouTube channel? Good question, Maddie. I cannot believe we've almost been going for an hour and a half now. If you're just joining, I'm so glad you're here. My name's Tara. I'll repeat it in case you weren't here for the beginning. I am an engineer and peer support specialist. I specialize in supporting people in recovery from mental health conditions and substance misuse. So if you made your way here because you meet that criteria, so welcome in. I'm glad you're here. And if you do not meet that criteria, you are still in the right place. I'm glad you're here. Type in a comment. Let me know who you are. And I look forward to getting to know you. Also, if you haven't hit that like button, please smash it. It helps me a lot and it's free. Artem, Tara, do you trust the data though? See, I think psychology data is super sus. Nothing is ever reproducible. I'm skeptical of everything in that field. I trust some data. I don't trust all data. I really like to look at the source. I like to look at the funding, where the money is coming from. And I like to use my own judgment in terms of um, whether I choose to accept a piece of data or not. Yeah, down home, tough love didn't work on me. Tough love is not effective. Brian Lane, thanks. I appreciate it. Someone before told me not to say S word in chat. Think it's sub. I don't know why they said that. Hmm. I don't know, Brian. Subs are easy to get and they should be, says down home. I trust my own intuition over psychology data. Yeah, I agree, Artem. I think these days it's important to be able to discern what's legit and what's not. Brian, it's just my real name. Ben, all the lyrics in my head are old. That's okay, Ben. You're in good company here. Down home, I started working out myself, Brian. Been about 6 months of just push ups and walking, more intense stuff planned. I need to get back on that train because it has been a while since I have worked out and I feel it is time. Rage, make yourself a mod, Tara. If I could, but I can't. Can I? Let's try. Nope, I cannot. Good suggestion, Rage. Rage, you should be, but if I click, I can go to the channel. Oops, you're saying that now. I'm behind. She subbed to Brian. All right. Brian's getting some subs. That's exciting. Ben says, Tara, have you ever tried confusion statements on people? I always used, you can relax or you can be at peace at the end. That seems harmless, but is that manipulative? I don't know. In terms of peer support, which is the lens that I am looking through on this channel, and that I tend to look through in life as well, um, these days, my perspective is that telling someone what to do, telling someone how to feel is not the most supportive thing that can be done. Again, I'm coming at this from a peer support perspective. It would be more supportive to offer a glimmer of hope. Um, Saying something like, I hope you feel like you can relax here, would be more supportive than you can relax. Even something like, it's okay to relax. I think that would be more supportive than you can relax. Because it's like, don't tell me what I can do and what I can't do type of thing. Now, some people would respond really well to the statement, you can relax or you can be at peace. Just like, people in this chat have different perspectives of PEP feedback and the Socratic method. And like, we all have different perspectives on different things and we're all at different places and see things through different lenses. So, my best answer to you, Ben, is that it's not validating or supportive. Um, let me rephrase that. it might be perceived by some people that it's more validating or more supportive to offer some hope that they can get there. Offer some hope. I hope you feel like you can relax. Um, because that's sharing my hope for where they could go, but it's not saying just relax. That's like the worst that you telling somebody to relax is the worst thing that you could actually say. Now, what you're saying is not that. What you're saying is, oh, I lost it. Oh, there it is. What you're saying is, I would guess you're saying it more from a hypnotism point of view. And in that case, it might be the most appropriate thing to say. My point is just that from a peer support perspective, we um, never tell people what they can and cannot do, how they can and cannot feel, and we don't solve their problems for them. Maddie, you should be skeptical of everything. That's smart. The only thing any of us can be certain of is my love for Tara. Thanks, Maddie. That's very thoughtful of you. Cougar Town. We love the name. Cougar Town in the house. Hey, Cougar Town, welcome in. It's nice to have your company here, and thanks for your comment. I love all the likes that came in, by the way. Thank you so much for liking the stream. It means a lot. Ben, also with psychology, I notice who funds the study often predicts the result. That's exactly my point. I think it's really important to pay attention to the money with all research, not just in psychology, all research. Artem says the most supportive thing that usually comes to mind is, dang, that really sucks. Like that can be supportive, that you're empathizing with a person, you're validating. That could be a very supportive comment. I agree, Artem. Ben, something like just think about what really wouldn't just think about what really would not change if everything was different, if nothing else did. Wait. Just think about what really would not change if everything was different. If nothing else did, you can relax. Okay, Ben. I hear what you're saying now. Thank you for giving me example, because it did confuse me thoroughly. So well done, mission accomplished. What would be the purpose of something like that? Did you say that already? Have you ever tried confusion statements on people? I always used you can relax or you can be at peace at the end. That just seems harmless, but is that manipulative? I guess, Ben, what's your goal? I think that's an important question to ask if you're wanting to know is something manipulative. What is your goal in using a confusion statement like that? What are you trying to accomplish? Artem, I think it's helpful to acknowledge how unfortunate somebody's situation is instead of trying to sugarcoat it and trying to find some kind of kernel of positivity in it. I disagree. I think using both strategies together is way more powerful than using one or the other. I think just using positivity not going to cut it. But I think crawling down into a hole with somebody and sitting with them in the shit while they excuse me, sitting with them in their discomfort while they go through what they're going through. In the meanwhile, searching for strengths, being a source of support, being a source of um, being someone that sees positive features in somebody is incredibly powerful when you're going through hard things. That's my perspective based on my peer support lens. So we can agree to disagree on this. I think both of those strategies that you're talking about are equally important. That's my opinion. I think commiseration is actually very soothing. It's refreshing just not to be gaslit about how bad things really are. Yeah, I think personally, if we sit in the shit and don't try to find, um, I'm not saying find the silver lining because silver lining's not helpful. But if someone is creative, then pointing that out could be helpful. If someone is a great communicator, they might not be aware of it. And pointing it out could be really helpful. What happens is your file clerk in your head can't make sense of something, so your brain kind of chews on something. While it's doing that, you can slip little things like that, and your brain will tend to grab a hold of them because they make sense. It's a light suggestion, but requires a lot of confidence. As a hypnotist, Ben, is that where you're coming from here? Oh yes. The last thing um, I think I'll talk about this thing another time, but the last thing in terms of the PEP structure that I was thinking about talking about, or the PEP structure that I outlined before I hopped on here, the last thing that I wanted to make the PEP acronym, like I wanted to close out the PEP acronym with something that I thought was positive. Now, this is not PEP feedback in terms of like me offering, the whole YouTube thing, like that's separate. But I did want to give one more positive thing. Like I wanted to share one more positive thing that I'm looking forward to. We already touched on it, but I'm going to say it again because I am so excited. I am going furniture shopping tomorrow, y'all. So I don't know if I'm going to keep this white background in perpetuity or if I'm going to flip the camera around and eventually show like the whole room. I have a beautiful ceiling now. I have a beautiful floor, so we'll see. But I'm happy to report that I am going furniture shopping tomorrow. I don't know that I'll find everything I'm looking for, but if I find one thing, I'll be really excited. And if I don't find one thing, I'll still be excited because I'm making progress. And that's a positive. Yeah, Ben, it's using hypnotism a lot. I figured it was something, it was a hypnosis technique. Cougar Town furniture shopping is a lot of fun. Cougar Town, I cannot wait. I've been without furniture for 2 weeks now. I have a guest bed that I'm borrowing from a friend that's on the floor. Other than that, I've got my surfboard in the living room, and that is pretty much all that's in here. I've got some kitchen stuff. Uh, that's all that's in here. So you might be hearing an echo right now. Hopefully, tomorrow that echo will start to buffer. So, folks, we are landing the plane here. I do want to give y'all one last opportunity to speak your piece. If you've been holding something in that you just really want to share, or if I accidentally skipped over your comment, please feel free to drop a final comment and we will wrap things up shortly. Cougar Town says surfboards are cool, surfing the waves. Cougar Town, I will be honest, I haven't surfed a single time in my recovery. But It's my most prized possession because when I hop back on that thing, it is going to be, well, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to be. I could not like surfing anymore, but I could really enjoy it. And I feel like I'm pretty darn close to that point. So, the weather's starting to warm up. So, uh, I'm looking forward to hopping back on the board for sure. All right, folks. It seems like y'all have spoken your piece. Artem says, thanks for the stream. I hope everyone here is feeling better now. I hope the same thing. I hope this is a place of solace, a place that you look forward to coming. That's the goal, is for it to be a supportive environment for everybody, regardless of what type of recovery you are in. John Mendoza, don't vote in these elections. That's my final word. I appreciate your perspective, John. Down home, I remind myself that my brain lies to me, tells me some marijuana will really fill that void. Yet the last time I smoked, all I wanted was to quit again. Down home, it is so insightful that you are able to see that. I love your comment. It's one of my favorite comments of the entire session, if we want to call this a session, the entire stream. There we go. I struggle also at times, although the past couple months have been much better for me. I have struggled at times with being pulled to get high. And you're absolutely right. That's a really good point. That all I wanted, the only thing I wanted the last several months that I was getting high was to stop. So to go back now would be completely counterproductive for me personally. I know some people in here engage in medical marijuana usage. Some people engage in recreational use, and you have my full support. It's just something that I'm in recovery for. And I love that we can all coexist and support each other regardless. Heather, have a wonderful day shopping. Thanks again for the live. My pleasure, Heather. Cougar Town says, we like this solace. Well, Cougar Town, I am so glad that you found us here, and I really hope to see you again sometime soon. I'll be going live again on Monday. I always go live on Mondays and Wednesdays, usually at 4:15. The past few weeks have been wonky because I had a tooth pulled and I had an infection before that, which is why I got the tooth pulled, and I moved before that, and then we had a fumigation at the place. Like, it's been a wild few weeks, but Monday and Wednesday, I normally go live at 4:15, and we are having a meeting on Discord tomorrow night. It's every Thursday at 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I've been calling it the face-to-face meeting. It's an opportunity for us to get together and be face to face, because you see my face right now, but I can't see your faces. So on Discord on Thursdays at 6 o'clock, I can see your faces, hear your voices. There's no requirement to be on camera over on Discord. You could just come on with your voice only. We've even had people just listen, and I'm totally cool with that. So show up as you want. It would be great to see you tomorrow on Discord at 6 o'clock Pacific. Or I'll be here live streaming. That is incredibly loud. Or I will be live streaming again on Monday and Wednesday, 4:15 ish. It's usually 4:15 on the dot, if I'm being honest. Peace out, people, says Down Home. Look into gematria, says John Mendoza. Effect News 25. Thank you, Tara. Happy shopping. Thank you. Thank you. Cougar Town says, I enjoy these videos. They're very cozy. Cougar Town, again, I'm so glad you found us. I'm so looking forward to seeing you again, maybe even tomorrow on Discord. And with that, it has been a pleasure talking with you all as always. I love you all very much. I'm so happy also that I'm feeling better and able to show up for you. And I hope to talk to you soon. Luke, have a good night.